Hi, today we're gonna see a very nice feature, and it will take maybe a bit longer, but I believe that you are going to like it. So we have this list that we have been working on, and now we're gonna see how to turn it into a checklist. So as you know, we have this app bar, and once that we enter a node, that bar becomes an action bar, and we have a couple of icons. So we also used this icon. We created a flow where we deleted a node from the inside, like here. And then we have a couple more, and today we're gonna see this icon. So normally, node taking apps, when we start using that, we'll create a new node. The app will ask us if we want to create a checkbox, checklist, or a regular node, and then we can decide. But some of them, they just don't ask this question. But after we had entered some node, we have this possibility of turning the node into a checklist node. So for example, here, this icon, we hit this one, and our items, they were just regular text. They become this checkbox list. So we can check and uncheck like some of them or all of them, and we can return. And as you can see, the icon changed. So this icon implies that we will return to our regular node, and here we're gonna go to a checkbox list. So we can do this. But also when we return to the main screen, and we can know that we are in the main screen when we see this app bar, and our node, it will not anymore be a regular node, but we have all our items checked. And if we click like in some part up here, but not in the checkboxes, but some part up here, and then we enter the node, we uncheck some item, we return, and then we can see this item unchecked. We can do the same with other items, returning to the main page, and then they will be checked and unchecked, of course. And that's important to say that when I was working on these tutorials, like preparing them, creating the Figma files, that was over 2.5 years ago, and Figma was at certain point where things, they were not so developed. But nowadays there are other ways of doing this, maybe faster and with less screens. But since I had this material, and I decided to share with you, and maybe that's gonna help people out there. So let's get started. So I'm gonna show first all the screens that we are gonna create. So we have a couple then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, if I counted properly, you're right. Okay, so I don't want to see the connectors for now. So what I'm going to do, I will return to design mode and go to the expert mode. So let's start seeing the first screen. So here we have this node, and in the previous tutorials we created these components, elements, whatever. So when we enter the second one, we also created this one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I recommend you to watch the previous tutorials. So this one is pretty regular, so never mind. So when we get to this one, what I did, I just added to the auto layout I had before. Even this one is wrong. When I added to the auto layout this extra element, just this, so just a regular icon. So this screen, I have like all the three elements, all the three items in this list, they have this checkbox. The next screen, I'm selecting just the first one and do this strike through on the label. Then two boxes checked and strike through in the second element, in the first element, and then the next screen, all of them will be checked. And I also need the last screen in this line. So if the first one has any checkbox, the last one, it has to have all checkboxes. Then I want to have the second one, just the first checkbox checked, second one, two checkbox checked, the third one, three checkbox checked. And then I have the variants, the variations, the different things that we didn't, I didn't show you in the first presentation, let's say this way. So if I have like 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 selected, I need to have like skipping some ones just to cover all that we need. So here I select just this middle one, and then the second and the third, and here I select this, just the last one, and the first and the last. So maybe we need to do some math, not a huge one, but it's pretty easy because once that we have all the elements, we just need to copy and paste and select and unselect. It's easier. So those scenarios as well. So just the middle one selected. But here it's important to mention we are inside of the node, right? We can see the action bar, and also we don't have any card encapsulating the content, but here we do. Like we do have this container, and we can see the app bar, not the action bar. So we need to have the second one selected, second and the third selected, the last one selected, and the first and the last selected. So all those scenarios we need to cover properly, and you can pause the video anytime you want, just to, like, you can slow down the video, you can pause and try again and again. So it's not hard, but it has some steps to follow. So now I'm gonna show the prototype and all the connectors, all that we have. There are some, so let's break them down. So the first connector, it will take from the first to the second screen, on click navigate to the next screen, smart animate, just this. Then we have the connector, the trigger to return, on click navigate to first screen, smart animate. And here we also need to, on this screen, we need to have this link, which will take us, when the user tap here, from this screen to the one where we have the checkboxes. So on click navigate to checklist, I decided to use the animation instant, but surely we can use the smart animate. I think that works too, but just instant, that works fine. And this is the only thing that we have here. When we go to this screen, we have this icon from this new icon. That's important to mention. So here we have this this list icon. So that implies we're gonna go to a window where we will see checkboxes, and this one implies that we will return to the regular list. So it's important to change. So on click navigate to previous screen. So we can switch, like when we tap here and tap here again, we will switch between these two screens. Okay, that's good enough. And then when we tap this back button at this point, taking us on click navigate to another screen, which is this one. I'm gonna go all the way to this one, and that's because it means we are returning to the home page, but with checkboxes this time. So when the user taps here, on click navigate to checklist instant, the user will see a screen like this because the checkbox was selected. Okay, then let's come back here. Okay, this screen, we have this trigger was explained, this one was explained. We have even more things. Let's see this one here. So if the user taps here, we need to take him or her to a page where X is checked. So here it is. If the user taps orange, we have a use case, we have a window with the selection, and that's okay. If the user selects rice, the user will be taken to this screen. It's pretty easy. So we have plenty of connectors, but it's not hard to do. So, and this is all that we have for this screen, probably 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So the next one, we follow the same logic. We need to have, like, for example, if the user unselect X, the user will come back to this screen. If the user hits this connector, the user will be taken. It's pretty like the same. On click navigate to check the destination and then instant. So if the user hits here, the user will be taken to a screen where only X, this item is selected, but the user will return to the main screen where it's possible to see this card and also the add bar and not the action bar anymore. And this is the logic, just following this. So I have X selected, then I have X and orange selected. So if the user selected these two items, the user will be, if the user selects just this item X, the user will be taken to this page. Only only oranges I'm talking about. Yes, selecting and unselecting, yeah. So here the user unselects orange and return to this page. But we have more interactions that's important to mention. So when the user, and at any point, any time, the user will be able to return to the first screen. So here, for example, the user returns to here, and then we follow always the same logic. So when the user select these two items and then use the back button to return, the user will be taken to a screen where the card will be displayed and two items, they will be selected. So we have this screen: first item, second item, card, add bar. Following the same logic, 3 items selected, the user hits the back button, the user will be taken to a screen with the card and all the items, they will be shown selected. And here we have some cases as well. So for example, if the user is here, select oranges, we have more cases like only orange is selected, the user can, for example, unselect oranges and return to no selection. The user can hit the back button and go to the place where only oranges is selected, the card and the app bar. And also the user has more possibilities like hitting this element, the user will return to this screen, like because the user clicked on the icon like list and checkbox. So all things are covered. So here, come back to no selection. Here, if the user hits this, we'll come back to no selections because we are talking about this icon. So checkbox and list, but we also are covering other cases. So for example, here the user like unselect oranges, we'll see only rice. If the user unselect rice, we'll see only oranges selected. See, everything is covered. Items, and yeah, that's it. I think you got the point, and as usual I will put this file available to download, so if you want to have a look and understand what step that you maybe for some reason didn't get at first, you'll be able to open the same file I'm using here and do your own investigation. And after that, I'm quite sure that you'll be able to reproduce all the steps that I showed here. Yeah, and that's it. I hope you like it, you enjoy this tutorial, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace.